I bought this MFJ-941E transmatch or antenna tuner used on eBay. Paid about $80 for the meter, and then total was like $108 with shipping and taxes and all that stuff. Unfortunately, the forward power meter doesn't work. So when I have this switched to low power and I key up at 100 watts, that forward arrow barely dipped, or it moved just slightly. The reflected power meter is working, so that's all I really need to tune with it, but it won't show me SWR and I won't know my forward power. I just have to trust the forward power meter on my radio. So the seller gave me a $10 discount, which seems reasonable. I'm going to open it up, see if I can fix the forward meter. So I thought I could tune this guy using just the reflected power meter and just minimize that. Unfortunately, at one point my radio started overheating because I'd done that, and apparently that doesn't tune the SWR always to a low number. I thought if reflected power was low, the SWR would be low, but either the meter's wrong or my theory is wrong. Moral of the story is I need to fix this meter so it'll work correctly, or I need to maybe use this meter instead of that meter entirely. Now I would prefer to use the meter that's built in, because every time you add another device to your chain going out to the antenna, you're adding a little bit of insertion loss. So here's the back of the meter. There's basically just three connections. We have these purple wires for the light, which I haven't tested, but it should be a 12-volt light. And then we have the red wire and the kind of brown wire, and the orange wire and the kind of brown wire that go to the forward and the reverse meters. This guy over here is the reflected power meter. You know, the needle goes up that way. This guy over here is the forward power meter that's not moving. Now both of those meters are driven pretty much passively through this little toroid or transformer. The main input line comes in, and then it looks like basically two different windings going in opposite directions for forward and reverse power. Then those go through various circuitry here on the board. I'm not sure which of these things are hooked up there. I think most of them are part of the metering circuitry. So I think the first thing to do is see if the meter will physically turn if I put a very small current on it. These are very sensitive meters, so we need to be very careful testing them. We can't put too much power in. And also I think I can test various points along the circuit board to make sure everything's connected to everything. A trick to make a low current test probe. Your multimeter, in either ohm reading or continuity reading, it's actually sending a small current through the probes to figure out the resistance between them. But that current is plenty to drive these meters without like burning them out. So the reverse reflected power meter is working just fine physically. We knew that already. Now the real question is, oh look, the forward power meter is working. So the problem is not with the physical meter or the windings of the coil there. It's somewhere farther along in the circuit. Alright, the orange line from the forward power meter connects to the center of this switch, and depending on if you have high or low power mode, it connects to one of these two guys. One of those looks like it goes to here, and the other one looks like it goes to here. So I'm thinking these are the adjustments for the forward power meter in high and low power. I've traced all the things. So these two are for forward power. We have high and low. These two are reflected or reverse power, so we have high and low. Now the only thing asymmetrical about this circuit is this guy here, the forward high, has right here a 49k ohm resistor. Over here there's two 98 ohm resistors. I think they're supposed to be 100 ohm resistors, but there's two of these, and one sets this guy over there and one sets this guy over here, but they're matched. And they both go to these guys here, which might be diodes. They have one black end. This guy's for reflected power, and it's acting like a 200 ohm resistor, 220 ohm resistor. That guy there is for the forward power, and it's acting more like a capacitor, like the resistance is changing up and down all over when I measure that thing. It just occurred to me, I have a schematic for this entire thing. I should really go refer to that schematic. Oh, I love me some 1990s manuals that have the full schematic to the entire thing in it. So those, 98 ohm resistors, or actually 100 ohm, a couple of capacitors, those are diodes, 1N34, 150 ohm resistor across those two things there. There's some things down here. So that little white guy in the center there is this adjustable 0 to 10 picofarad capacitor. So basically, if the forward power meter isn't working and everything else seems to be working correctly through here, I expect the problem is that diode. And it's measuring differently on my ohm meter than that diode. So I probably need a 1N34 diode. Now I'd like to point out the reality here does not match this schematic in that, as far as I can tell, these guys are all exactly the same part. I could be wrong on that, but 50K, 50K, 50, yeah, they're all 50K pots. So instead of having a 50K and a 500K pot, they have 4 50K pots. And they don't have these 3 resistors. Instead, they just have that one resistor right there. All right, let's test these diodes. So we have over here the working diode. And it has a volt drop of 1.56. So maybe that's a Schottky or some other low voltage drop diode. Huh. Now it says 0.2. Alright, let's try the non-working diode. Alright, I'm getting a warning beep. Alright, Google AI overview to the rescue. The 1N34 is a germanium point contact diode. Super low forward voltage drop, 0.3 volts. Also good for RF performance. I don't think I have one of those in my diode parts bin. My diodes are a little less exotic, so I'm probably going to have to order one, or a pack of 5 of these. Alright, apparently the key is to type RF in the search term, because 1N34A RF germanium diodes are there. I don't need 10. I haven't found any that are the blue and black. Or I could get 25 for $10.50. It is tempting to join Prime to get that next day shipping. Alright, according to Google AI, just your generic 50 milliamp diodes will be just fine for this application. Alright, so all these guys are riveted in, so the correct solution would be to unsolder all these things and disconnect that knob there so we could unscrew and lift this circuit board out and work on it. But we're not going to do that. We are going to solder the new diode across the old diode here. And once we get it soldered in place, we're going to cut the old diode out. Hopefully we can do this without accessing the rear of the circuit board. Now these diodes are significantly smaller than the ones that are in there, although supposedly it's still 50 milliamp hours. It's not a lot of current anyways, and I'm hoping that they're relatively well matched. We'll find out. Using a piece of tape to hold the new diode next to the old diode so I can solder there and there, and hopefully leave myself enough room to clip this diode out when I'm done. The main thing is I don't want these leads falling down when I apply heat, so I'm using them attached to this guy to keep them in place. It took me more tries than I was expecting, but I believe I've been able to get this guy with the legs soldered there so I can cut this guy here with diagonal cutters and pull out the failed diode there. Well, it didn't come out in one piece, but it's out. Well, I think someone looking at this can tell which piece isn't factory. Alright, we are going to go out through the antenna. Reverse power meter isn't moving at all because the antenna is pretty well tuned. Try a band where it's not as well tuned. At some point I got that reflected power meter stuck under the edge of the forward power meter. So now I'm going to have to snap that plastic cover off and unstick those guys. So I've been getting really weird behavior. After replacing this diode, now my forward power meter works, but the reverse meter and the forward meter are kind of way off. And I tested this diode, So I believe it's conducting in both directions at different amounts, which may be intentional, but it's a different behavior from that guy. So I'm going to replace this guy as well. So this guy was broken open. It was an open connection, so basically the meter wasn't moving at all. This guy, I think, is broken, but it's not dioding correctly, so it's causing an imbalance between the two, I believe. Anyways, we're going to replace it same way we did this one, see if that makes everything work better. Alright, so I've replaced that guy. I'm replacing this guy here. Now I just have to diagonal cut that bad diode out. Alright, so this definitely says C1N34A. So I don't know if that C is important. Obviously the blue-black looks different from the clear glass and red. But we have two diodes that have been replaced. Alright, so I have this thing tuned so that the reverse power meter or reflected power meter is at the lowest point when the SWR is lowest in alignment with that meter. So I have it tuned as much as it can be tuned. One thing I've found is that this guy, which costs 30 bucks and is maybe 30 years newer, has more sensitivity. So the SWR starts going down, and this meter here will hit the 0 point, while that meter still has a little bit of room to keep going down. So as I'm turning the capacitors, that meter keeps going down a bit, while this meter just hits the bottom point. And then if I keep going too far, this guy here starts going up, and then this guy here starts going up. So there's the ability to get the SWR lower with this meter because it's more accurate. Now I can get to the same point with this meter if I watch it carefully, and as it goes down, I then keep turning until it starts going up, and you get a feel for how much of a region is between those 2 points, and then you tune it halfway to the center of that region. So essentially, this guy just has a little more accuracy at the low end, but they're going up and down at the same in sync with each other. So you can make it work here, but that guy was easier to get it to work perfectly, or at least as good as this meter can get. So tuning this was an iterative process. First I kind of just did the reverse low and high and the forward low and high to get it in the right general region. Then I did have to affect that little capacitor there. What I found was that the SWR, this guy's SWR and that guy's SWR reflected power were kind of offset. And to get them where when this guy was 0, that guy would also be 0, I needed to adjust that capacitor. And one thing about adjusting the capacitor is you need to take the measurement with the cover on, because apparently that affects the capacitance. So what you do is you get your little plastic screwdriver and you adjust it a bit, and then you put the cover on and you see, did it go in the right way and did it go far enough? And if it went the right way, you take the cover off, you adjust it a little more, you put the cover on, and you basically keep doing that until you're happy with the setting with the cover on. Now you don't need to screw it on, but just set it in place. And then once you get the kind of the sync between your reference meter and this meter here, and you're happy with that, then you have to go back and readjust the kind of levels of the forward and reverse power. Tricky thing for me is that my radio's smallest power transmission is about 10 watts. And so on the low side of things, you have to divide by 10. And so that means really I need this reflected power to go up to 100, but it only goes up to 60. So I could calibrate the high setting pretty easily, because I could, calibrate to the 10 watt level, and I could calibrate to the 20 and 40 and 60 watt level. But to calibrate the low power setting, instead of using my radio, like reversing the transmitter and the dummy load leads to use forward power from the radio's reverse power in the meter, instead what I had to do is actually hook it up to the antenna, make sure the antenna was not perfectly tuned so I had some reverse power, and then look at the actual reverse power from, or the reflected power from the antenna, and calibrate this to match that. And that worked out okay. It just means that you cannot do this entirely with a dummy load. Now, if I had a 2-to-1 dummy load, a 100 ohm dummy load, I could have done that with the 100 ohm dummy load, but I don't. I only have a 50 ohm dummy load.